So this is a video version of the Oral Report 1, Professionals in the Audio Industry. Basically, I'm going to read through the assignment here, give a couple of my thoughts on it, and point out some things that are really important. Some students learn better through watching a video rather than reading the assignment or going over it in class, and this way you can go back and reference as well. Key point here before I get started is this assignment is designed, and really in all assignments, the student should make it relevant to their career in any way that they can. So whatever that means, make it relevant to where you see yourself going, where you'd like to go, the things that you're interested in. Do it correctly, because there's a reason that some things are set up the way they are, but make it relevant. Choose someone and do some thought about what professional you choose and why. Here we go. Overview. Knowledge of many different professionals leads to a better understanding of the many career paths available to students. To be responsible professionals, students, and current professionals, many of you are students and also working professionally already, which is great, must continually expand their scope of understanding and knowledge across the industry through research and sharing with peers. This industry is all about connections. Your resume is important, but not as important as the people you know and meet and make good relationships with. So sharing with your peers is an opportunity, yet again, for that collaboration. You get to know what people are into, get to know them better. The purpose of this assignment is to develop a better understanding of genres and career paths outside of the student's preferences. Outside of the student's preferences, that's the point of the entire process of the oral reports as a totality, not your specific one necessarily. And to learn the preferences of other students in the course. By sharing with peers, all students will be exposed to new music and professionals in the music industry. The assignment is that students will choose one professional in the audio or music industry. This can include, but is not limited to, managers, record label owners, producers, engineers, venue owners, promoters, choreographers, agents, studio musicians, songwriters, authors, lawyers, really anyone that's important toward your career you can choose. So if you're interested in owning a business and the legal side of the music industry, you can definitely choose an entertainment lawyer. Or if you're interested in being a performer, you can choose someone who's in that field or a trendsetter from decades ago. It doesn't matter, as long as that person's been in the field for 10 years, which I'll talk about in a second. The point basically of the overarching assignment is this: what is the role of your person in the audio/music industry? That's what you're answering. What is the role of this person in the audio music industry? In a 10-minute PowerPoint presentation and a one-page fact sheet, students should choose a specific industry professional that has been working in the audio or music industry for at least 10 years. It's really important. No offense to artists and stuff who are younger, but we're looking for someone with experience who's been around for a while, 10 years on the minimum side. So this would exclude many of the younger pop stars and stuff right now. Research should involve a minimum of 3 articles and 1 interview. All sources should be documented clearly. Have a bibliography that is properly formatted in your PowerPoint. And we can talk about that. It's something we might go over in class, but you can go online, look up MLA, the letters MLA, citation formatting, and find information, plenty of information on that. Make sure it's formatted correctly. Students will give a short 10-minute maximum presentation with the PowerPoint to the class. They will also hand out a single-page fact sheet so that all members of the class can have a reference document. It should be a single page. Make sure that you have enough copies at the beginning of the class. Make sure that it is 3-hole punched. If you want to send it to me a week ahead of time, I can make copies and be hole punching. If it's not a week ahead of time, I'm not going to make anything. Don't have time. So make sure if you want that, if you can't figure out a way to get it copied, that you work ahead. Grading goes as follows. 30 points for a student has a well-constructed PowerPoint presentation. Make sure it's professional. Don't cut and copy and paste stuff. Don't come in with an excuse of Mac versus PC, screwed up my formatting. You should have checked it. That's your responsibility. Student has a well-formatted, well-written fact sheet is 30 points. That fact sheet should be clearly written, well-written, correct punctuation, etc. 20 points, student speaks clearly and acts professionally. Remember, all of your peers are watching you, and whether they like it or not, they're judging you, and they're making decisions about whether or not they would work with you in the future. So if you come up and you don't act professionally, or you do things that would be offensive or whatever, otherwise inappropriate, you probably just at some level got marked off people's checklist of people they would call in the future. Sources are cited either throughout the presentation or on the final page. If they're throughout the presentation, you should probably have a bibliography page either way. Really, you should cite both in your PowerPoint and at the end in a bibliography format. Possible resources is obviously the World Wide Web, specific online sites or forums, phone apps, some specific websites I'll give you here like Musicovery, Pandora, Last.fm, MySpace, Tagomatic, Wired, Amazing, Billboard.com, Glide Magazine, Rolling Stone, Sound on Sound. There's a lot of online sites that will have resources. Tape-op, go to. Make sure that your sources are credible printed sources, even if they're on the internet, if that makes sense. Do not cite XJack on a forum. It's not a source that has any credibility. We have no idea who XJack is. So make sure your sources are viable, real sources. It can be online. It can be Sound on Sound magazine online version that was printed in December of 2006. That's appropriate, and cite it appropriately. Public radio and or internet radio are great places to find interviews with artists, especially if those, I shouldn't say artists, interviews with professionals in the industry, especially if they have released or written books. They'll often end up being interviewed on the tours promoting the books. And then if we watch videos in class, you can also check those out as resources and cite them appropriately and all that. So that's the basic assignment. If you have questions, please feel free to go back and watch the video again here, or you can also read through the assignment, which was handed out in class, or should be on the online section for the class as well.